What's up guys, welcome back to the garage, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another new video. So today we're going to be addressing one of the biggest and most common debated mods on the S55 platform, and that is the Crankhub. So as many of you guys know, the Crankhub is one of the most common and most people's first mod before they do any power. A lot of people just do it for reliability, safety, just as a precaution. They replace the Crankhub as they can spin in these cars, and the spinning can vary between needing a whole new engine versus just needing to replace it and retime the engine. But we're going to finally be addressing it in today's video, so I want to kind of go through a little bit some of the details and what Crankhub we decided to do, why we decided to do it, and how the cars performed without it. But first, let's head down to the shop. We're going to be going to my buddy's shop, DrivenWorks. You guys have heard me mention them before. He kind of helped me out with the ABS bleed procedure on the AP Racing brakes. But they're going to be installing the Crankhub for me today, so I'm going to head down there. We're going to get the M3 over to his shop real quick. It's not too far of a drive. Let's head on down there, and then we can start talking about which Crankhub we're going to be doing, why I chose to do this specific one, and my future plans regarding some of the extra mods. So it's been about a week and we got the car back all set, all done. The Crankhub is complete, the job is installed, and we did a few other little things, but I kind of want to explain what all was entailed with the Crankhub, why I chose the specific version or the model that I went with, and then I'm also going to kind of show you guys on the stock hub why they fail and why this is kind of something that you probably should look into doing on your F8X. So as I mentioned, my car is absolutely bone stock. It does have a tune, but other than that, power-wise, the car is stock. It doesn't really make any more power. We don't have any mods under the engine. The only thing that we have are downpipes and so a little bit, we have an oil thermostat. But other than that, we don't have, and on top of that, we have a stage GTS tune or GTS flash. So this runs about similar to the OEM GTS power levels. But honestly, I would consider the car fairly stock power-wise, and we're not really trying to make any more power. Now, I do have just over 45,000 miles on the M3 now. And as you guys know, I track the heck out of this thing. I've done almost 20 track days in the last year, and I don't plan on slowing down at all. Now, for all of those track days so far, we have been on the stock Crankhub, and we haven't had any issues, but I figured I would rather spend a little bit of money now and just be a little bit of preventative maintenance before it becomes an issue down the line. So we ended up going with the Vargas Splined hub. This is the V2 hub, different from the V1 hub. And I chose to go with a Splined hub for a few different reasons. So the main issue with the current stock hubs is that they spin. And what happens is they spin in relation to the stock crank, which they are connected to, but they don't have a great way of connecting. They're kind of just held in with friction. And so the bolt that holds in on the front holds with a ton of pressure, and that is what keeps the two aligned and from spinning on each other. Now the Splined hub uses, as it would sound, splines that dig into the crank, and then you have a new splined-like design, similar to any of your axles or your drive shaft, which have splines on them to transfer torque. Now the other common or more common design that people do is a 4-pin design where you need to drill 4 different holes inside the face of the crank and then align the pins and slide them in, and that is how we keep it from spinning. Now as a mechanical engineer, I will say I have a little bit of an issue with using the 4-pin design for the Crankhub. Pins are just ultimately not meant to hold torque. Pins are meant for alignment, and you use a splined design or a gear type design to hold torque. This is probably the biggest reason why I chose to go with the splined hub over the 4-pin hub, as I really just don't want any issues down the line, whether I'm making a bunch more power or stock power. I just want to do it once and keep it as is. Now the second issue is I don't really like the drilling into the stock crank. One, you need to drop the oil pan in order to make sure that you get all potential metal shavings out of the oil. And that just requires a whole bunch of extra work, extra labor, and extra cost. Now DrivenWorks has this super cool little device that they 3D printed that blocks anything from coming into the oil pan. It's super well and flush fit. So that is one way they get away with doing without it. But overall, I'm just happy to kind of do that splined design over the 4-pin. Now let me show you guys why the stock Crankhub spins. So if we come over here, we can see this is the stock hub from our S55 motor. Obviously, we have our bolt. This is the same. They supply a new bolt in the kit. And then we have the stock crank hub. So you guys can see this is not a one-piece design. The aftermarket ones, or at least the Vargas one that I had, is a one-piece design. So you guys can see we have the main front side of this. This is where that bolt goes in and torques in. And then this is where we go into the main crank. This is our gear pulley here. And as you guys can see, this is loose and can just come right off. So this is only held on by this little tiny friction disc. So I want you guys to see here, we just have this tiny, tiny little friction disc, and I'm gonna pull it off here for you. So we just have this tiny little friction disc, which if you guys can see, it has these like little grooves on it, and it's supposed to have like a little bit of friction, but I will say mine is actually quite worn, and it's a good thing that I ended up getting mine done when I did, because it definitely has some signs of use on it, and like you can kind of feel it rubbing your fingers over it, that it just it doesn't really have much of the friction material left on here. So it's a good thing that we got this done. Really happy about it, but it's kind of a poor design that all we have is this little friction plate to hold on this entire gear set right here, just like this. And then these are clamped together very tightly using that main bolt, and that is how we keep these two from spinning. And so when you hear people say they spin their hub, this is what physically spins. But it's cool that they let me keep this, so now I can kind of keep this as a little memento part of the car, and I'm just gonna keep this probably on my desk somewhere. So that is why we ended up going with the one-piece design and the splined hub design for the crank hub on the F80. Now that's not the only repair we did while we were at the shop. A little bit less common or less known issue on these cars is the cam ledge bolts. From the factory, they were mis-torqued, some of them were over-torqued, some of them were under-torqued, and they end up making this little bit of ticking sound, almost like a faint rod knock sound on cold start, especially when the oil is cold. You can just kind of hear like a faint ticking from the top of the motor. That also translates with any RPM. So as you rev it up, you can kind of hear it. And it goes away when the oil gets hot, but it is definitely a little bit annoying to listen to, as well as it can begin to start to cause some damage on your camshaft. So while the valve cover is off, it is really easy to replace. We already have all the timing locked down, so they were able to just replace one bolt at a time. Super easy, really not that expensive, and it's kind of a while we're there mod. I'm glad that we go ahead and did it, and it made the engine run a bunch quieter. Now, one more issue that we did end up finding while we were there is the idler pulley on the M3. So the idler pulley sits here in the front, and it's a common issue. A few people have had it before. It is, it's like hydraulic or spring pressured from the inside, and it can start to go bad, and it kind of makes some of this like rattling or ticking sound. It's a little bit annoying, but it's very intermittent on my car. I don't have it all the time, so I'm gonna leave that for now, but that will definitely be something that we are fixing here in the near future. Other than that, everything on the M3 is complete. Everything went really, really smoothly on the installation. I can't thank DrivenWorks enough for all the work they did. They paid great attention to detail, and I was even sent like 70 to 80 photos of the entire inside of the engine of the M3. Once the valve cover was off, I got everything. I got photos and proof of the crank hub coming off, the old one. There was a slight leak on the front main seal, so we got that replaced. We went ahead and did everything on the M3, and DrivenWorks took complete care of me. They did a fantastic job on the install. It only took like 3 or 4 days, and I cannot thank them enough. So if you guys are in the Texas region or even any neighboring states, I highly recommend go ahead, make the drive. It's worth it. You want the right people working on your cars. Head on down to Houston, come to DrivenWorks. It's a good buddy of mine who runs it. They are track focused people as well, so they know very much what they are dealing with and what they're working with. Very knowledgeable on these cars, and I have several friends that have had them do the exact same crank hub on their cars, and they've had their cars pushed well over 700 horsepower for many, many miles. So I highly trust them with all the work they do, and I can't thank them enough for the job on the M3. So now that the M3 is officially done with the crank hub, I may or may not go ahead and push a little bit more power on the street just because we can. But other than that, the car's gonna be staying stock for the near future in terms of power delivery. I don't wanna really mess with anything on the track. And for some of the upcoming time attack, we need to be running stock power levels to fit in the classes that we will be competitive. So I'm very happy that we got the crank hub done. It is definitely not a myth. However, I do think it is very overplayed. and the issue really isn't as big as most people say. However, if you plan on beating your car, or if you plan on making a bunch more power, taking it to the track all the time, I definitely recommend it. The stock hubs they have a clear design flaw in them, and using just that tiny little friction disc to hold all of the power. And you guys know these cars make a bunch of torque, and that is the main issue with the Crankhub. But I'm happy everything is done on the car. We're ready to go set some more laps out at COTA, and ready to have a good time with the car. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching today's video. A little bit more of an explanation, as we just got some work done on the M3, but honestly quite a big step getting the Crankhub done. That is one of the big mods on the S55 platform. If you guys have any questions about any of the mods, especially about the Crankhub job or how it went, or what I recommend for you guys to do to your cars, please leave a comment down below and I'll be sure to get back to you. I hope you guys enjoyed watching today's video. I'll see you guys in the next video.